Hey guys, welcome back to the Reed Homestead. Today we're going to build a DIY garden bed just out of some scrap lumber and some branches that I collected from some of the trees that had fallen down. So very easy to do, inexpensive, and what we're going to do here is, so this is a Pilot Survival's knife right here. I'll give you a look at it. I use this one out in the garden. It's got that big beefy end on it that you can use for hammering, and then this side is really for creating kindling, you know. So, or you're going to scrape down some wood and create a tinder, you know, for fire starting. So really not going to cut down many branches with that. So, and keep it sharp. But I use this one in the garden anyhow. What we're going to do is, first thing, take your branch. Okay, doesn't matter if it's a little crooked, or you're just gonna get the bark off it. And the treatment we're gonna do on this, so the bugs and the heat and all that doesn't affect the wood, we're gonna do, it's called shishugi. It's a Japanese treatment where you just get a torch and just kind of heat that wood up, and you're going to burn the outside. The insects will stay away from it. If it's burnt, you're basically cooking off. This is all the sugar underneath the bark. You could use that to start fires, but the insects eat this part right under the bark. That's what they're looking for. So they get under the bark, and that's how they eat. You get those big beetles. Some of them have horns, you know, in the logs. That's what they're going after. So that's why you remove the bark, and that'll detract any insects from ruining the wood. And then you're going to cook that off. Okay. This side's already pretty much done. Kids just got home. One sec. Okay, so anyhow, I don't know how much we're going to need, but I'm going to start with one layer of scrap lumber. But I want to make sure we have enough of these poles. And what you're going to do is screw the lumber into the, you're going to dig a couple holes. Show you got a tamper that's out there. And you're going to dig a couple holes and secure these branches in there. And then you're going to screw the lumber into them so your raised garden bed doesn't fall. It'll stay supported. Now, this isn't costing anything. None of this, other than the Pilot Survival's knives and the tools that are going to be used, really cost anything. So I do have a silky Gomboy. It's the aggressive teeth. So the less teeth you have on a pruning saw, doesn't really matter which one you get, but the less teeth, the more aggressive the cut. So I'll show you that when we're at that point of cutting these woods to size. One sec. And this is, you're just removing that bark and that layer just under the bark. Now these branches, I've had it back in the fire pit for about a year, so some of the bark is coming off pretty easy. See, that's where the bugs get in, and they just go to town. So in order to dissuade them from doing that, we're going to burn that up so they have nothing to eat. They basically stay away from wood that's burnt because the food source is already gone. You're basically starving them. So, well, they'll find something else. One sec. Be right back. And there's Bo. So, I got enough done. What you're going to do is I always just, when I do this process, just sweep the bark, because that is flammable. Sweep the bark into the garden, right off the patio. That's just mulch. More mulch for the plants, and that's good. So we do, you know, a lot of chopping wood, firewood up here for the grill and the smoker. We got a Weber, one of the 20-inch big boys. So we do a lot of chopping wood. You get a lot of bark. Just sweep it, use it for mulch. Not a big deal. Bo, he loves sticks. Okay, you're gonna want to get back a little there, buddy. Come on. Okay, relax, relax. I know. Need some water? Hang on. Yeah. Oh, just a minute. Get him some water. Whew. Got the fire hose over here. It's always good to have a little fire hose with you. Okay. That way you can give your dog a drink. Shout out to our firemen friends. All right. Here, Bo. Thirsty? Come here. Okay, relax. There you go, buddy. So, one sec. We'll continue. All right, so I skinned the rest of that longer branch, debarked it, and this is what's called a Texas torch. We got that on eBay. You know, it comes with the hose and the connections. So basically what you do is just plug this right into your propane tank. They say it's used for de-weeding, but you could use this to start fires out in the fire pit or your grill. Pretty useful tool. Comes with a different, turn this on. Comes with a smaller nozzle too. I think I spent like 20 bucks on it. Has a smaller nozzle if I wanted to use that. I did the same thing with the lumber. close that. And what we're going to do is flip. Yeah. So what we'll do is just flip the branches and do the other side. Okay, like so. Make sure it stays there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about that. So you can control how much gas is coming out right here with this nozzle as well. So yeah, when you do this, you're going to want a hose nearby. It will start like some of these strips of bark, you know, lit on fire just for a couple of seconds, but always have a hose right next to you. So good idea. Safety first. Let's see. Open this back up. Do the other side. Okay. Close it, give it a squeeze, get rid of any exhaust. All right, there you are. Now we're going to just lug these out to the front where I'm going to put the bed and continue the process. We'll be right back. We shall return in a moment. One sec. Get this lumber. Okay, I'm gonna head back up here. All right, so as you can see, here's some scrap lumber. One of our neighbors donated this to us for garden beds and built a new house. So this is house lumber. Thank you, Leslie. So I did the same thing with the lumber. Just get the Texas torch on it, burn it down, and what we'll do is we're going to put some boiled linseed on this. Boiled linseed will help preserve the wood, keep it from cracking apart in the weather, and it'll also keep bugs away. So let's go ahead and do that. One sec. All right, so you can see I already kind of got this set up. I weed whacked all throughout this portion. Got all the weeds out. So this is boiled linseed. Been a little while since I've had to use it. Let's get the knife. Just pop that open. Okay. So if you got an old paintbrush, you can use a paintbrush on it. This is just an old rag that I use for this process. Okay, just dump it on. Not a big deal. All right, rub it in. Now the wood, because it's been burned on the outside, we'll lap that oil right up. And you're just gonna that's gonna help preserve the wood. Okay. Just get it in there. You could put a few coats on. You could, do a coat every year. This is just typical money-saving raised garden bed. So as you can see, this part of the yard, I mean, we're pretty much on a slope. So that's why I have the poles to keep this from falling over on the slope. We're going to dig some holes, set those poles in, screw them in. If you're on level ground, you probably don't have to dig holes and set your posts into it. You could just cut your post to the length of or the height of your garden bed and get that done. Okay. Yeah, it's just lapping that oil right up. All right, so let's continue this until we're done. All right, so we got one board done. Just finishing up here. Got the other side done already. Okay. So boiled linseed will soak right into the wood. Insects can't stand it. So yeah, you could use another kind of oil, but the Japanese use boiled linseed because it is really good at preserving the wood, and this is going to be for outside. It'll keep insects away. Even though the insects will stay away from burnt wood anyhow, because the sugar's gone, all the sap is gone. That's basically what the insects are after. But this is just extra level of protection. So let's get that set up. One sec. So yeah, fencing material got here today. There it is. Big old poles and the chain link, and then they brought all the concrete. So beautiful day out today. Not too hot. Rained yesterday, so this is a good time to, dig holes. If you got to do planting or transplanting, this is a great time of year to do it with the amount of rain. So seeding, overseeding your lawn, getting some work done outside. Perfect. Now, this is the iron tamper I was talking about. Got this at Home Depot, maybe Lowe's, I can't remember. I think it was like 40 bucks. But yeah, you can use this on big logs and just get underneath them, put a stump behind it for leverage, and you can move or lift logs as you want. I already kind of measured this out, so we're going to do a hole right here with this guy right here. Okay, now there are other things you can use to dig. I use this. We have an incredible amount of roots from trees and everything. So this is hard clay. We're in the south, so you get a lot of that red clay. Basically turns to concrete. And because we had so many roots, or so many trees, everything is basically roots underneath this red clay. So, let's see. One sec. All right, so this is military entrenching tool. You've probably seen these before. It's basically a small shovel. You can use it for camping, backpacking, whatever. I've had this one for a long time. So, yeah. It has a nice little plastic case. So, if you're gonna, when you're digging your holes, there we go. Give it a little. So, this part here, up here where these teeth are, that's not for cutting branches. Okay, that's for cutting through roots and things when you're digging. Okay, depending on the soil that you have. You could, I guess, use it to try to cut branches, but really it's for cutting through roots. So, not too many roots in this hole, so that's good. I don't need it too awful deep. I've got enough loose clay here that I'm going to pack that really tight, maybe add a little gravel to it. And again, this is just to keep the wood from falling down this slope. Okay, so we're going to start here and go down in front of the well. This is where I'm going to plant my ginger. In a future video, we'll finish up this bed. We'll plant some ginger in here and give you a look. So, be right back. This is the silky Gomboy. So, talking about pruning and stuff like that, you want to take down some branches or, you know, use that for camping. This has got the aggressive teeth, so it's all denoted by the handle when you buy these. The orange handle is for aggressive cutting, so you've got less teeth up here. Okay, you can kind of see how sharp that is. They work really well. They are a little flimsy, so you need to be careful. Make your cut down here. Okay, that way you're not going to bend that, break it. So, aggressive cut. I think red is medium, and then black is fine. So, we don't have to be too precise. This, like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. But this wood is about 6 inches. Well, let's use this one. A little easier to manage. Okay, so we're going to be about that deep in the soil. All right, and then we're going to need from here. We're going to need probably right about that, and then we can clean that up afterwards. So I might go with 2. I'm going to start off with 1. I might go with 2 after a bit. So kind of want to just hold that down and make your cut at the base of that Gomboy. You don't want to get caught up. If this comes up, people break these things by cutting up here. You want to cut down here. All right. Yeah. Okay. So that comes out really nice. They say the finer teeth are for hardwood. Let's dig that a little deeper. Just a little deeper. But I've had no issues. We've got all hardwood here. So I haven't had any issues with it at all. It's a lot faster than the fine teeth. It's kind of, all right. Let's see that. Okay. We're just going to throw that right back in. Now we're going to use the tamper to tamp this back down. Get some rocks in there, some gravel. Take the roots out. And this is just for ginger. I also want to cover that well. I'm not a big fan of the fake plastic rocks that people use to cover their wells with. So we're just going to go with some ginger stalks. Kind of looks like palms, if you will. So that'll cover the well. We'll do some flowers in here and whatever else. The sun comes up behind me. So we'll use the bottom part of that tamper. So this is good for morning sun. That's why I'm doing the other raised garden beds in the back, in that back left corner, because that's where the morning sun is. Okay. Let's get in there. You could use concrete. It does have some gravel in it, but it doesn't have to be, you know, solid as hell. You're not going to be climbing on this. So let's get some more soil. No weeds. Just kind of getting around there. Toss that in the ditch. So I'm going to leave. I did some weeding with a weed whacker. We have the Ego or Ego, whatever it's called, not Echo, but we started off with a Cobalt. It's the battery powered ones. Started off with a Cobalt and it was absolute garbage. So we took it back and we got the Ego. Lego my ego. Yeah, that's in there. Okay, so this is the treated lumber. Okay. I'm going to put that on the inside, like so. You're going to have to move that. Okay. Oh yeah. One sec. Makes it a little more difficult when you're dealing with a slope, but we got ways around it. One sec. Okay, so here's the garden kit. Just got some 8-inch screws, deck screws. My well has become a staging area for this project. So just going to take out a couple. I do have some drill bits in case I need them. We'll see. Okay. Now, we want that to be a little more level. So we'll take our little entrenching tool. It rained yesterday, so I already loosened up a lot of this soil. Down to the ditch. So right here, we want to get rid of some of that. Just throw it over here. Following this line right here, just kind of copy that a little bit. All right, so it's square. You just loosen some of that up. All this is going to get cardboard and then soil compost, so I'm not so worried how level this is right now. In the end, it'll be level and secure. Just want to do this for setting it. Okay. That should stay. Alright, one sec. So I went to dig a second hole, and sure enough, as you can see, there's one of the big roots. That's why this thing, works really well. If you don't have something like that, especially in the south, where you have wooded areas, you could always use an axe to get through these. I wouldn't necessarily use a saw like a Gomboy or anything. This works really well. So I think I got that on eBay for 20 bucks, years ago. So anyhow, let's get back to it. So we're going to do the same thing. This over here, every fall, late summer, we have a what's it called? Common puff mushroom that grows right here. It gets huge. So I'm going to let that stay just on the other side of the border. Okay. Maybe a little deeper. Quartz, rock. There used to be a river that used to run through this. be afraid of getting your hands dirty. Okay. That's how things get done. Someone's got to do it. Now, all right. So right there, okay, make sure screws are going to be able to get into that. You don't want to put a knob here because then your screw can't reach, like down there, kind of. So right there on the side. And you're just going to snug that up. So, okay, let's fill this in. Well, let's make this cut first. So, about right here. Okay. Don't worry about cleaning that up a bit. Whoops, sorry. Okay. I'll just fill it back in. Down to the ditch. Now a lot of these weeds up here and grass, that's all going to die off because we're covering everything with cardboard. So as it doesn't starts lacking all that sun, all this stuff will die. And your plants above, the roots will be able to grow through it, but the things growing up, the tops of grass or weeds, won't. So if you've ever seeded, you know exactly what I'm saying. That's why you want to use a kind of very soft medium when you're seeding to give that seed and the top of the plant an easy route to the surface where the light is. Okay? I use coconut husk. If you watch the video right here, all those seeds have sprouted. I've transplanted a bunch of them, including the super hot peppers, so that's good. One sec, we'll be right back. So realizing it wasn't quite straight, I did redig the hole and ran into that root again. So just gonna grab Tommy axe. There's no rocks. Okay. And that gets right through the root. There's another one. Okay. One sec, we'll replant that. So, anyhow, redug the hole, got through the roots. we're just going to put this on the outside of this hole over here. Widen it out a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't really care. The point of this is to just give ginger and whatever else we're going to put here a place to grow, where I can get some of that morning sun. Sun is important, obviously. Get rid of some of these. So, had a little Sesame Street music in the background. Our neighbor's like 3, so it's good. Here we go. So just take that Tommy axe, tamp that down. Pat and Sarah went to Sarah's volleyball practice. Pat had his first baseball practice the other night. We found out they changed our name to the Chiefs. Pretty cool. That was the farm team, AAA team for Syracuse when we were growing up. We used to go to the Syracuse Chiefs games all the time with Dad. Everyone would fall asleep on the way home, listen to the post game. So, pretty cool. He came home and he doesn't know anything about this. He wanted to do some art in his room. And I walked in and he's drawing he's drawing a Blue Jay. So it was the farm team for the Toronto Blue Jays back in the 80s when we used to go to all the games at MacArthur Stadium. I thought to myself, Dad's got to be loving this. R.I.P. Dad, love you. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next step. All right, so now what we want to do is just screw these in. Okay. Same thing here. Some at the base. Just line that up. Not a big deal. It's in there. Same thing here. So we're going to repeat this process again with the next board down front. Then we're going to have sides. Line this with cardboard. Might even weed whack again. Line it with cardboard, and then compost. Watch that video right here. That's why we're growing so much compost. So I've already started putting some of the cardboard down. As you can see, it kind of looks like a mess, but you know, once the compost gets on top of that, all the weeds will die off. Then you'll be able to grow things here. So sun comes up right over in this direction. So this is gonna get pretty much all day sun. So, and we'll be able to cover that eyesore for a well without having to use fake boulders. So that's the idea. We're going to repeat this process till it's all closed in. And in the next video or a future video, we'll fill that in with cardboard, compost. We'll plant our ginger, do some flowers, and then top it with a little wood chip mulch. So that's basically it. Do it yourself, no cost, raised garden bed right here. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. Have a great rest of your weekend. Until the next time, this has been Pat at the Reed Homestead. God bless. See ya.